Good morning, everybody. Have I told you yet how much I miss your face? 'Cause I do. Now, by this time, we would have had our grab and go. So I got to see, or will get to see, because it's really today, because I'm taping this today on Thursday. I know it's confusing me too, but hopefully I got to see everybody. And those of you who might not have gotten to come through for the grab and go, let me know. Text me or email me, and we'll make some arrangements for me to drive by and like throw it up on your porch or something like that. Something real fun like that. It is Monday, April 13th. I can't even believe that. And we're already into April, but we got a lot of stuff to do, a lot of stuff to get to. I sent you a whole bunch of work last week, everybody. So let's see if we can get through all of this, okay? All right. First things first. You're going to do your calendar just like always. And I've been seeing pictures of some of my friends that have an actual calendar that they've made, or that the adult in your house has made, and you count on that. And that's a really, really super good idea. I love that. So that you can go through your number and your day and your month and the year. So that's super duper good. And then we've got our Bible verse. Remember, we just got it last week. It goes like this. Whatever you do, work heartily, as for the Lord and not for men. Colossians 3:23. Boys and girlies, one of the things I think is so important about that is that when we're at school, you do things well for me because you know I'm going to make you do it again if you don't, because that's what my job is. So you know how to do things really well. Well, this verse is kind of about doing things well, even if there's not an adult around. Because Jesus is always around us. He's always there with us. So make sure that every single thing that you do it just as if Jesus was right there with you, watching to see how well you're doing. So I want you to remember that verse. It's a really good one. Not just for kids, but for adults too, okay? And then I want you to go through your God words this week. Is a fun one. Goes like this. It's called extraordinary, because X is our word this week, and X really doesn't make a sound all by itself. So our God words are: God is almighty. He is beautiful. He is our creator. He is our defender. He is everlasting. He is my friend. He is holy. He is incredible. He is Jesus. He is kind. He is loving. He is magnificent. I really like that one. He is never ending. He is omniscient. He is powerful. He is quiet. He is righteous. He is my Savior. He is the truth. Whoops, one finger. Truth. He is unchanging. Like this. Wrists. Unchanging. He is victorious. Ooh, that's a fun one too. He is a wonderful. And then I can't remember what extraordinaries is. I'm so sorry. I'm going to find out from Mrs. Super. I'm going to assume it's like this one again, because this is like wonderful and all sorts of things that make God awesome. And so this week's is extraordinary. That's a good one. I like that. After you do that, then after I do that for you, I guess, then I'm going to read you God's Bible verse or Bible story this week. And this is the best part of the story. We just had Easter this weekend, and lots of kind of sad, really sad and kind of scary things happened. A lot of things that you might need the adults around you to talk to you about. But I feel so blessed today that I get to read you what happens on Sunday. We've talked about this a lot, even before Easter. So I know that you know what I'm talking about. This isn't going to be new stuff for you, but I can't wait to read it for you, okay? Here we go. God's wonderful surprise. Jesus' friends were super duper sad. They would never see their friend Jesus again. How could this even happen? Wasn't Jesus the rescuer, the king God had promised? It wasn't supposed to end like this. Yes, but whoever said anything about it being the end? Just before sunrise, on the third day, God sent an earthquake and an angel from heaven. When the guards saw the angel, they fell down with fright. I think that's kind of funny. The angel rolled the huge stone away and sat right on top of it and waited. At the first glimmer of sunrise, Mary Magdalene and other women headed to the tomb to wash Jesus' body. The early morning sun slanted through the ancient olive trees, drops of dew glittering on leaves and grasses, little tears everywhere. The friends walked quietly along the hilly path through the olive groves until they reached the tomb. And immediately they noticed something odd. It was wide open. They peeked through the opening into the dark tomb. But wait, Jesus' body was gone. Love this. Look at this. I hope you can see it. There you go. And something else. A shining man was there with clothes made from lightning. Don't be scared, the angel said, but they couldn't help it. They screamed a little anyway. The angel asked, "What are you even doing here? This is a tomb, and tombs are for dead people." The women couldn't speak. "Jesus isn't dead anymore," he said. "He's alive again." And their hearts leapt, and the angel laughed with such gladness that they felt for a moment as if they had woken up from a nightmare. They couldn't even believe the great and glorious news. Wouldn't that be amazing to be there? Wow. Well, the women rushed home. But Mary stayed behind. How could it even be true? Jesus was definitely dead. How could he be alive? Just then, Mary heard someone else in the garden. Perhaps it's the gardener, she thought. He'll know where Jesus' body is. "I don't know where Jesus is," Mary said urgently. "I can't find him." But it was all right. Jesus knew where she was, and he had found her. Mary. Only one person had called her name like that. She could hear her heart thumping. She turned around, and she just couldn't make out that figure. She shaded her eyes to see, and she thought for a second that she was dreaming. But she wasn't dreaming. She was seeing. Jesus. Mary fell to the ground. Sudden tears filled her eyes, and great sobs shook her whole body. And all she wanted in that moment was to cling to Jesus, give him a hug, and never let go. "You'll be able to hold on to me later, Mary," Jesus said gently, "and always be close to me. But now go and tell the others that I am alive." Do you think they're going to believe her? That's what Mrs. Peters looks like when she runs. Mary ran and ran. She ran all the way to the city. She'd never ran so fast or so far in all of her life. She felt she could have run forever. She didn't even feel like her feet were touching the ground. The sun seemed to be dancing and gleaming and bounding across the sky, racing with her and shining brighter than she could ever remember in the clear, fresh air. And it seemed to her that morning, as she ran, almost as if the whole world had been made anew, almost as if the whole world was singing for joy. The trees, the tiny sounds in the grass, the birds, and even her heart. Was God really making everything sad come untrue? Was he making even death come untrue? She couldn't wait to tell Jesus' friends. They won't believe it, she laughed. She was right, of course. They didn't believe her. They didn't believe her right away, but they will. That's the last part of this story. It kind of ends on a dun dun dun, on a kind of a mysterious note, doesn't it? But it's a good story. I love that part of the story, and I'm so glad that I got to share it with you today. And this is what you're going to be talking about, because after Easter's over, which is Sunday, yesterday, at school, we'd still be talking about Easter. I would be reading you that story just like I did today. We would be talking about Easter for a long, long time, because it doesn't just end on Sunday. This is when our beginning really begins. This is what, you know how our stories always talk about Jesus being our rescuer? Well, now's when the good stuff really gets going. So we'd still be talking about it at school, and I want you to do that at home too, okay? I love that story. Okay, let's get down to some work. You're going to do your journal page today, and I'm going to tell you true. I've been seeing some super duper good papers. I've been also seeing some messy papers. Just because I'm not there, I want you to make sure your lines are nice and straight, and that they bump up to the headline, and that they sit on the foot line. And make sure your lowercase letters bump up to the belt line, just like, you know how picky I am. So I want to make sure that you're becoming picky too. So send me your super duper good work. Remember, whatever you do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not for men or teachers. And then we've got a math worksheet today, boys and girlies. It's called Can You Count to 10? You can count to 10 super duper easy, super duper fast. You can even count backwards from 10. This is a little different though. On this worksheet, I want you, this is like kindergarten work. Don't tell Miss B or Mrs. Van Otterloo, but you're doing kindergarten work right now. I want you to look at this sheet that you're going to have in your packet. I want you to, of course, write your name like we always do. And then down here, you're going to count how many ladybugs you see. And then there's 3 numbers underneath. Sometimes they're in order. Sometimes they're not, because they're trying to trick you. But don't be fooled. I want you to circle the correct number underneath those ladybugs. You can color them in if you want to, too, but you don't have to. And then down here, it's a little bit different. It's going to ask you to do something different. It says, how many spots are there on this ladybug? So you're going to count not just the ladybug. You're going to count how many spots there are and circle that number, okay? Now, just because I've only given you one worksheet to do this sort of work with, you can do this all the time with mom or dad or older brothers and sisters or any adults in your house, okay? That's what I want you to do. Then today, you're going to work on puzzles for 15 minutes. Even if you do the same puzzle over and over and over again, it's okay, because that's how you get in the classroom. I've noticed that so many of you had become such great puzzlers or puzzle masters. So it's okay if you do the same one over and over again. And then, I'm so excited about this. We're going to have new daily challenges this week, of course, but today is a scavenger hunt. Now, in your packets that I sent you last week, there was a scavenger hunt for you to do, and that also, that things were actually written out on a piece of paper for you. It was an actual sheet that you looked for. Today's a little bit different in that I want you to go outside and I want you to find a yellow flower. It can be any yellow flower. I don't want you to pick it, though. I just want you to take a picture of it and send it to me. You got it? Any yellow flower, take a picture of it and send it to me. Now, if there are absolutely no yellow flowers around you, then send me a picture of any flower, okay? But that's what I want you to be on the lookout for. And then, of course, your everyday list: snuggle up with a good book, move, pick up your bedroom, make your bed, clean up your messes, and I want you to pray for your family and your classmates and dun, 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 for me. Okay? I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.